We are making pies. What's going on, guys? It's Daniela and welcome back to my channel. Happy Thanksgiving. I am posting this on Thanksgiving Day, so I hope you guys are with your families. Hopefully you guys are taking a little bit of your time to watch my video, and if you are, then I love you so much. I'm actually filming this the day before Thanksgiving, and I wanted to show you guys my favorite pie recipe, which kind of sucks because I guess this is a little too late since you guys are watching it Thanksgiving Day, but you can always make it for Christmas. So this recipe, I've tried about like 3 pumpkin pie recipes, and this one was the one that actually stood out to me the most. And real quick, as you guys can see, we are somewhere pretty familiar, somewhere pretty old school with my vlogs. This is where I started off my videos. Once again, I think the last video I posted, I was also in this house, and just a little life update. I didn't expect for this to happen, but turns out I'm gonna be living with my sister for a little bit of time, so you guys are gonna be seeing me back in this house for a couple of videos. We'll see how long that is, but let's get started on this recipe. And I need to find a good placement because I want to show you guys exactly what I'm doing and putting all the ingredients in the bowl. So catch you guys up in the next Okay. So I wanted to get a good angle this time because usually whenever I do my baking videos, it's always not at a great angle. I'm never showing you guys exactly what I'm doing and what the action is going on in the process of baking. So today I was like, I need to do it. I need to show them what I'm doing. Kind of just have a little one-on-one talk. So I have all my ingredients and everything I'm gonna need right here. The one thing, I asked my mom to bring me a cup measure, and she literally brought me just 1 cup measure, not like the whole set. So I'm gonna try to eyeball it and hopefully it turns out good. So this year, like we mentioned, we will be making pumpkin pies. I'm gonna be making 4 pumpkin pies. I'm gonna be making 2 for my mom, 1 for my dad, and 1 for my oldest sister. We're kind of a little bit more separated this year. If you guys have divorced parents, you guys know how all that shit. So we're kind of a little bit more separated this year than usual, but it's all good because at heart, my pumpkin pies are gonna be there, and that's gonna be me. I had to rebuy everything. I had to repurchase all these things because this stuff was at my old house that I'm not really living at anymore. So it was a little bit more expensive than I was planning to spend this year. I think I've done it 2 years in a row, and each year is just my favorite pie. Last year, I believe I made like 4 pies.
I was trying to be bold
and I was so stressed out, and they turned out fine, but the pumpkin pie was the one that stood out the most. My sister also doesn't have a damn can opener, so we're gonna try to pull it Mexican style, and I'm just gonna try to like razor it throughout the entire can. We'll see if that works. Oh, this is so annoying. Wendy, we need a can opener in this house, sis, because what the heck? Look what you got me doing. This is fine. Yay! So it calls for 1 cup and 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree. Like I said, my mom literally only gave me a literal 1 cup measure. And honestly, there's a little bit more pumpkin. Who's gonna be mad? It's pumpkin pie, honestly. I used kind of like half the can. Jeez Louise. So I'm gonna push my pumpkin puree to the side, and then it says we need, oh my God, my eggs. I left them in the fridge. This recipe calls for 3 large egg yolks and 1 large egg. So I'm just gonna crack all the eggs first, which is gonna be 4 eggs. Jeez. I really don't think this bowl's gonna be big enough because I haven't even added the carnation milk, and like it's already full, like it's already halfway. And then I'm gonna need 3 egg yolks. So
3, 6, 9, 12.
I'm gonna need 12. $11. Ah! It's literally not a Daniela video if nothing goes wrong. So that was 11, and I think this is gonna be 12. But pause real quick. A little catch up with my life. You guys, I went to go get my nose pierced again. You guys know that I have my hoop on my right side, but I've always wanted another one. I've had this idea for about like a couple months, I think even a year. I've always like thought it looked really cute. So I didn't get to film because I was alone, and when I actually was there and I was sitting down on the table, the guy, like I had my phone on my hands and he was like,
"Do you need your phone right now?"
And I was like,
No.
And he was like, okay, how about we just put it away so like you can like not get distracted or anything. And I was like, fine. So when he said that, I was like, okay, well there's no possible way of me filming like at all. But I will show you guys, I don't think I've shown you guys this. I'll show you guys when I first got this side pierced. Anyways, back to the recipe. We're gonna get started on adding the sugar. We're not adding spices yet. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm over here editing and I just realized I did not put 4 scoops of sugar. I put 3 scoops and I counted 4. What? It still tasted bomb though, but what the heck? Okay, so there's our sugar. I'm gonna actually start mixing this. You really don't need an actual mixer like a KitchenAid to do this recipe. Honestly, a hand mixer will do just fine. Or even a whisk, because since I'm doing a huge quantity, I really love to use a hand mixer because I don't need to beat my hand up so much. But if you're just doing 1 pie, you could just use a whisk. So don't worry about using a hand mixer or all that. So I'm gonna mix this real quick. And now we're gonna go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So we're gonna make that 4 times. So next we're gonna add our salt. It calls for ½ a teaspoon, so I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of salt. I would usually be playing like Christmas music right now, but I don't wanna get copyrighted, so we're just gonna be baking in silence. Now we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, but instead 4 teaspoons of cinnamon. I feel like I keep having to say that I'm freaking making this recipe 4 times, but I have to say it out loud in order for me to not mess up. Next up is ginger. Same measurements. Now honestly you guys, when it comes to pumpkin pie, of course there's like a lot of recipes you can find out there that are very simple and just include like the pumpkin puree, pumpkin spice mix, probably carnation milk, eggs, and sugar, and that's about it. But personally I found that like if I put in these ingredients separately and like just me doing it myself instead of just buying pre-made spice mixes, it just tastes so much better. They're just a lot more elevated, I feel like, than when you buy just a pre-made spice mix and a pre-made pumpkin mix. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix these spices in and then we'll add our final 3. So let's go ahead. Where is my spatula? My spatula. I literally brought my spatula over here. Did I not bring my spatula? Did I leave it over there? Oh no, it's right here. So make sure you wipe down the bowls and you're mixing it very well. You don't want your spices to just get in 1 chunk and then not throughout the entire pie. I'm gonna taste it. It tastes so good. And I haven't even fully added the spices yet and it already tastes so good. Okay. So one thing that I will say that is kind of weird about this recipe that you guys are going to see at the end and are going to be like,
what the hell? Why the hell did you add that?
But for now, I'm going to continue adding the regular spices, which is 2 of them left. I added our nutmeg and I added our ground cloves. Now the final thing, the final spice that I'm going to add that you guys are going to be like, what the hell, Daniela, is ground pepper. I don't know if my camera is focusing. There we go. It's ground pepper. Now, you wouldn't really hear normally that you would add ground pepper to a dessert, but the ground pepper really does elevate all these spices to have a way more tastier flavor, I guess you can say. Now keep in mind, we're not adding a shit ton of pepper, we're just adding 1/8 of a teaspoon to each of these recipes. So I'm gonna be adding 1/8 of a teaspoon 4 times. I'm gonna go ahead and add my carnation milk now. Evaporated milk, carnation milk, same thing. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up one last time and then we'll get started on putting them in the pie crust and I'll be explaining that portion once I'm done here. So now that we fully incorporated, oh, it tastes so good. It does, as you guys can see, it's really watery. It's extremely watery. Don't feel like you messed up. That's exactly how the recipe is supposed to be. Once you put it in the oven and then it chills completely for a couple hours, it will thicken up, and especially with all those eggs that we added, it will, I promise, it will not fall apart and it will get together. So I'm gonna push this to the side, I'm gonna clean up, and then we'll get started on explaining the pie crust, what I'm using, and all that sort. So I'll be right back. This time I will not be making my own pie dough. I did it last year with all 4 of my pies and it tasted bomb. It was pretty good. But it is time consuming and I didn't want to buy more ingredients, and honestly these at Walmart were 2 for like $1.75, so I was like, who can beat that? So meanwhile, the oven preheats to 375. I'm gonna let these just chill out for a bit. And we are not gonna be adding our pumpkin mixture immediately to these pie crusts. What we're gonna be doing is heating these up, pretty much cooking them first, at least halfway. And then we're gonna be adding our pumpkin puree after, and then putting them in the oven. So usually when you cook pie crust, you would put pie weights on top so that it doesn't get like a huge bubble up here, and then you'll have an inflated pie pretty much. But I've never bought pie weights. Usually I'll use beans. I'll use aluminum foil and then put beans on top. But Daniela over here, this Daniela the baker, forgot to buy beans. So I went in my sister's pantry trying to look for beans, and the closest I got was lentils, and I found some oats, which I don't think these would burn in the oven, at least for 20 minutes being in there. They'll just probably get toasty but not burnt.
And it won't burn down my house.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is put my aluminum foil down, and then I'm gonna open up my lentils. Wendy, I will buy you more lentils, I'm sorry. All right. That feels pretty fine. All right, that's like half the bag. So I'll be able to do half with lentils, and then I'll see if the oats feel good. So this is pretty much how it looks like. You gotta make sure you add aluminum foil or parchment paper, because if you don't, it'll probably stick, it'll cook through, and you don't want bean crust. That sounds gross actually. That sounds really nasty. Put these in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then when they're out, we're gonna add our pumpkin mixture as soon as they cool down, put them in the oven, and then we'll have our masterpiece. So I hope this recipe is sounding pretty clear to you guys, and I'm telling you guys it's really simple and easy, especially when you're using pre-made pie crust. Super simple, super easy, and it's super delicious. So I took out the pie crust about like 5 minutes ago. I just wanted them to chill, cool, because they were really, really hot to grab. They're looking really good. I'm actually really proud of them. Almost all of them are pretty flat, except the one that I used that bowl with, which I could care less about. So now that we've come to our final step, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my 1 cup measure. It's all clean now, and I'm gonna scoop about 1 cup in each until I feel kind of okay with where it's at. I do want it to be pretty full, because especially because there's so much, I'm sure there's gonna be leftovers. These aren't that big, so I'm pretty positive there's gonna be leftovers. You guys, I have a little obsession that I need to tell you guys about. I am obsessed with Billie Eilish. I freaking love her so much. I've watched literally, it's kind of embarrassing talking about it. I've watched almost all her interviews, practically all her interviews that are on the freaking internet, and I just love her. I've been literally singing her music off camera or on camera. I'm just cutting it out because I don't want to get copyrighted and my voice ain't good. But I freaking adore her. I love her so much. I want to go to her tour so bad. All right, I think that's kind of good. No, I'll add a little bit more. So since we're done filling up the pies and I have so much left over, I'm actually gonna grab like 1 cup of this. So I'm gonna bake this while these are also baking so that I can at least try something. It's okay to not have the crust. I just really wanna try the filling. And I'll catch you guys up once everything's ready and show you guys how everything looks. So my dad had gotten home when all the pies were ready, and I don't really vlog in front of my dad. He kind of makes fun of me when I do my YouTube videos because he thinks it's just kind of dorky. So I was like a little shy filming while he was in his room because I knew he could hear me. So here's a clip of me trying my filling. So hot. It's so hot, you guys, but it's so bomb. And this is without the crust. Like, imagine this with the crust. And then some whipped cream on the top. Girl. So I have 3 more pies left in the oven, and then I'm going to show you guys a little quick pie montage. As you guys can see, I have some back here. Before I really do end this video off, I do want to say that I'm so grateful for each and every one of you guys for always supporting me literally from the beginning, and even when I lag on posting, whether it's 2 or even 3 weeks. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope this gave you guys an idea on maybe what to bake for Christmas or just throughout the rest of the holidays. Once again, I love you guys so much. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Turn on your post notifications, and I'll see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving.